What's up? Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. It's Ari. I'm Korea. Sorry if I sound a little dejected. I'm just tired. Obviously, had a bit fun 25th birthday yesterday. And then obviously my picks. Well, they were all right. Let's see how I did yesterday. Unfortunately, a 1-2 day. First, the Phillies first five money line. Well, I always like to say this, but it's never really true. But rain delays are always the enemy of a bet. In my view, and any kind of delay, whether it's a rain delay or whatnot, as soon as I have a lean that looks so good one way, the other way goes. And the Phillies were looking good through that first five. They had a 2-1 lead, and then all of a sudden, obviously, the Twins got some insurance in the bottom of the fifth, took the lead. So that was pretty much all we couldn't afford. Ranger Suarez, he looked, I guess, kind of decent. I was surprised to see the Twins actually put up some good numbers against him yesterday. They made it a little bit of a challenge. Obviously, they at first, and then Suarez put up. They allowed. I think he allowed like 3 runs in that throughout the first five, a couple runs in that bottom of the fifth. So that was a tough one there. Obviously, we just were backing on the Phillies just to be at least tied or having a lead through the first five, and they were down by one. So that's an unfortunate loss right there, and that was a close one too because I feel like maybe if the game started on time or whatnot, who knows? Obviously, you can't really take that too much into account. And then the Cardinals and Pirates, that one was a tough one. That one was a tough one to watch because they left 14 men on base and they scored 3 runs. That's pretty much what that's what else can I say? Mitch Keller, he went 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. That is a prime example of just getting the guys on base but not driving them in. So of course this game is probably going to go over today. I would not be surprised, but obviously it's just one of those games where they got the runners on but they couldn't drive them through. Both teams struggled to get some runs through the plate. As I mentioned, Mitch Keller got allowed 6 hits but only got 1 run through. Payante, he went 6 innings, he allowed 3 hits but 1 run came through. So both teams had multiple opportunities on both sides. So that was a tough loss there, but we'll obviously finish with the positive here with the Mets and Marlins over 8.5. That was obviously a little bit of a legacy. Obviously, it was I believe 5-3 heading into that, or I think, or whatever. It was 5-3. I think heading into the eighth, and then no,
It
yeah, it was 5-3.
5-3 going to the ninth.
Yeah, that's right. It was going into the ninth, and then off of some whatever happened. I know Lindor homered, but there was an ejection at the same. I think I was at the Mariners game when this happened, so I wasn't really paying attention to what exactly transpired. But all I know is that I saw the final score, and it did go over. So I was definitely happy to see that. It was more, just the Lindor homer to left center that happened, and to lead off the top of the ninth. That was, off of JT Charguo, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name. That was pretty much the legacy right there. Obviously, it was a little bit of an underscoring game. I didn't really know, I didn't really decide in this game, but the Mets, like I said, they hit the ball well. They had 11 hits yesterday. They left a few men on. I mean, you want to talk about leaving men on? The game went over, but I mean, this was another example of that Cardinals Pirates game. I mean, Peterson 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 runs allowed. Chirinos 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs allowed. So they both left. I think 5 guys on base, so 10 men on base for each side. Even though this game would have soared over, obviously, I'll still take the legacy over in the ninth inning at over 8.5. So 1-2 day, will definitely take that for me on my birthday yesterday. But Ari, how'd you do yesterday?
Yeah, one play, one winner for me. White Sox Rangers first, 5 under. There were 3 home runs hit, but fortunately all 3 were solo home runs, including one in the bottom of the fifth by Texas. I think it was Corey Seager, I think, or it might have been somebody else that tied it up at 2-2 with 2 outs. So that made it a little bit sweaty with 1 out to go at 4 runs exactly. But then Chicago got out of it and it went scoreless, I think, for the next few innings, I believe, and then went to extra. Or yeah, it was scoreless until the ninth, or until the eighth and ninth, and the White Sox scored. Rangers tied the bottom 9, then Texas won in extra innings. But yeah, for this bet, 2-2, so it would squeaked under. Even though the fourth runner scored with 2 outs, bottom 5, so still needed 1 more out to go at that point, and got it done.
Yeah, obviously, not a great start. Obviously, when you have Tommy Pham, excuse me, going yard as soon as this game starts. 4:41, and then Simeon responded, so that was 2-2 in the third. So we were still looking good, and then obviously Lorenzen allowed a run in that top of the fourth, and until that bottom of the fifth came. Obviously, you mentioned it was Tavares who got that home run, so it was a little sweaty for you. But then again, obviously didn't allow a run after that until the top of the ninth. So obviously that was a first five under 4.5 cash winner right there. Finished right at 4. So just by the hook, obviously we love to see a winner there. 2-2 day for both of us on the day yesterday. Obviously, hopefully continuing this positive momentum into the end of the month, obviously tomorrow. But today we do got some best bets for you. I only got one. There's a lot of games on, 15 games on, obviously for MLB today, but this is the only one I really like in terms of the value. And we're just taking it simple. We're taking the Brewers on the money line -112. I'm just going to keep it simple here. I think the Brewers should be a lot more favored. I saw them open, I think, as slight underdogs. That line moved up to 112. Right now, currently, it's pretty much a dead pick 'em at -110. So I don't know why the Brewers are kind of seen as major underdogs right now. I know with the run line, it looks like the Brewers are a favorite, but obviously Vegas thinks it's pretty much a pick 'em. I like the Brewers today, full game. When we look at the pitching matchup, it's Tyone versus Colin Rea. And in Tyone's last 3 starts, the only reason that he has looked good in one because the Chicago's offense has pretty much outscored the other team. And I don't like backing pitchers who look good because their team are doing most of the work. Now, yes, Tyone is doing okay against these teams, but he's still allowing runs to come across. And in this last start at Milwaukee, he allowed 3 runs and 5 Ks, got the loss. And that was his last loss. They lost 4-2 in that game. And what happened? Chicago's offense didn't show up. And ironically, I believe this was the exact matchup that was a month ago. It was Colin Rea versus Jameson Taillon about a month ago in Milwaukee. It was 4-2. So I'm just taking that matchup and just inserting it a month later. It's in Chicago, and I do like the Brewers today. I was gonna lean the first 5, but then I was thinking about it. I don't really. We always talk about how bad the Cubs bullpen is. Then that's what makes me want to take the full game even more. The Cubs bullpen not consistent, and yesterday they used most of their guys because yesterday was a bullpen game. They started Javier Assad yesterday and had most of their better guys go through the bullpen yesterday. So, some of their, better arms are a little tired today. So that's why I kind of like the Brewers even more, just backing the Brewers to win today after they lost yesterday in a close game. Even though this is the same matchup just on the road between Colin Rea and Jameson Taillon, obviously we like backing Colin Rea at home a lot more, but I feel like the Brewers and with Jameson Taillon, I think they have his number. Obviously allowed 3 runs the last time they played him. And, the Brewers first, they love hitting righties, and 2, I think Jameson Taillon's numbers are a little inflated just because, even though he has looked good against some teams, it's most of the offense doing the brunt of the work and the team just playing catch up, just to try to catch up and get some runs across the boards. Obviously, with that team maybe strike out a lot, obviously chasing at anything. So, I do like the Brewers full game money line here at -112, as I mentioned as well. The Cubs bullpen, they used some of their better guys yesterday. I don't think they're going to be available today. So I think, with the Cubs bullpen obviously having its ups and downs, I think the Brewers full game is a better look here. So just taking the Brewers to win today at -112. That's my one and only play today. Obviously right now it's -110. So dead pick 'em. So wherever you can find that value, I like it. Just give me the Brewers full game money line today. Ari, what have you cooked up for this Tuesday?
Yeah, 2 plays for me. I'm on a play in that same game, but I'm on the first 5 under. Just really fitting both lineups. You talk about Taillon and his struggles at times, but at home he has been better, overall in the season. I think his ERA was like 2.9 at home this year. Obviously, that doesn't take into account the opponents and all that, but still been pretty steady at home. And Rea, like you said, we like him better at home, but the Cubs against righties have just been poor no matter where pretty much all season. So yeah, I'm basically just backing both starting pitchers here to just hopefully the Brewers are up 3-0 through 5 or for you or whatever, but I'm just expecting limited runs early. Obviously, first 5 to avoid the Cubs bullpen like you talked about as well. Just backing both starters against both lineups. So Brewers Cubs first 5 under, and then going to the Royals, fading Jordan Montgomery in his return from injury. coming back from missing the last few weeks. The Royals lineup is hot right now. Bobby Witt has 3 hits in 4 straight games. Really, again, we talk about how much better the Royals are at home offensively, and we saw that yesterday. I think they won like 10-3, something like that. I'm not super confident in Alec Marsh and what he can do, but I think he can at least do enough. With what I think the Royals are going to do off Montgomery at home. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen any sort of pitch count from Montgomery, so I'm not sure if he's going to be limited in any fashion. But I mean, even if he just goes, 4 or 5 innings, I think the Royals can, get it done against him, and score enough to where Marsh doesn't have to have like a super super dominant start for the Royals to get the win. So 2 plays today: Brewers Cubs first 5 under 4.5, and then the Royals on the ML.
Yeah, Ari, I was on that Brewers Cubs first 5 under 4.5 yesterday. Actually, that was one of my plays, and that did hit, but it wasn't easy. Obviously, if you did watch that game, Javier saw, he did look good. I think he went 3 1/3, but he allowed 6 walks through those 3 1/3. So, he definitely was not finding the strike zone at all. But you mentioned today's matchup. I do like it. Obviously I mentioned I'm on the Brewers money line, so it could be 0-0 through 5. And I know the Brewers will probably attack that Cubs bullpen, because the Cubs, like I said, the Cubs used their better arms yesterday, for their bullpen. And I think that's why they have Tyone on the mound today. As you mentioned, a lot better at home. And so I think they may try to stretch him as much as he can, even though the Brewers do hit righties, a lot considerably better than the Cubs hit righties as well. And you mentioned, even though we like back in Colin Rea better at home, obviously in this road spot, the Cubs offense just not existent against righties essentially. So I do like that first 5 under 4.5 for you. And I was on the same play as you, fading Jordan Montgomery in his first start back for the Diamondbacks today. Obviously, Alec Marsh on the other side for the Royals. I know both of these teams, I think, got in a little disagreement of words yesterday, as we like to call it, yesterday. So maybe emotions may be high or whatnot, but I know Montgomery, obviously, he's having a really bad down year. We've all seen it. Maybe it's because of the fact that he signed his contract so late, or maybe whatever you want to call it. But having not the greatest year, obviously, really struggling to find that command, and he's really been allowing a lot of runs, and at one, a very hitter friendly ballpark, and 2, against the Royals, who can hit anyone pretty much really well right now. Just taking the better hitting team at home for the full game. I love that play, even though obviously Alec Marsh is on the mound. I think the Diamondbacks do hit lefties better than righties as well. So I do like the Royals for you as a full money line play, minus 115. Those are Ari's 2 plays. My 1 play, just the Brewers on the full game money line. You can find, all 3 of these plays on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. You can find both video and our card down below. We will have that posted momentarily. But that's going to do it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Kriya. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow for some more best bets. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Win some money, and we will see you tomorrow.